Hello everybody, Corey here again. Today we're doing another whiteboard video. This time in regards to brake lines. Do you replace one or all brake lines when dealing with a compromised brake line? So on the left, that we've got a top-down view. This is kind of a setup of a half-ton or three-quarter-ton GM or Chevrolet pickup truck. And then on the right, you can see we've got a cross-cut diagram of a compromised brake line and a brake line that's in good shape. So I see this semi-frequently actually, where I'm in the Rust Belt, and a lot of times these GM trucks, they all rot out brake lines, and the salt and the brine in the winter, it eats them up. So a lot of times one line, we'll just say like the feed line going to the back axle, gets compromised, and a lot of times people just want that line replaced or repaired. Okay. And a lot of times people don't understand what the underside of their vehicle looks like. So, documentation, pictures, that kind of stuff really go a long way to show the overall condition. And while I can understand the point of view to where it's like, well, if there's just one leaking, we'll just go ahead and replace it and move on with our day, move on with our life. I understand the thought process. But in these particular situations, it usually doesn't end up that well. If you just replace one, typically what I see is when you start bleeding out the brakes, so you get the air out, you're bleeding on each corner, and once the system is able to regain full pressure, another line that was kind of not in great shape, maybe flake and rust, that decides to, that's the end of the road for that line. So it starts to seep or leak, or you can't gain a great pedal, etc. So you guys, if you take your vehicles to shops, just if the shop says, hey, we need to do all the lines, I wouldn't haggle with them too much, because it really is a safety concern. I had a gentleman recently that came to me, and he had just opted to do one line. He did the work himself, which was fine, but he didn't make it very far, and he had another line start to leak, and it was in a huge metropolitan area, and 4-lane highway, and it just a lot of traffic. 2-lane highway, excuse me, I'm sorry. But still a lot of traffic. Went to pull out, had to panic stop, brake pedal went to the floor, there's no brakes there. So that's not good. That's a safety concern for himself and for the other people on the road at the time. So if a line is compromised, I've seen this to where there's either a straight out leak, a pinhole, or something impacted the line, or just rot. Once you start looking at this and all this rusty scale built up, well, I've seen it to where it starts leaking after a while, because that's the line deteriorating. So you start moving a little bit of this rust, and then boom, all of a sudden you've got another leak. So ideally, we want lines to be in great shape. When that's hard lines, you don't want any hard kinks or bends or anything like that. Away from heat sources, routed where they should be, and all that, to keep the system safe and functioning and reliable for you. So just food for thought, guys. Don't be alarmed if you take your truck in and you can see there's fluid leaking, you have no brakes, you have a brake line that's leaking, and you take it in and they say, hey, all the rest of the lines are in the same condition, this is how much it's going to be. It really is a safety concern. And like I said, in this application, very rarely do I see one line repair being a long-term solution. You typically end up back in the same boat. So just food for thought. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.